Standing Simmer here today, and welcome back to another build video in The Sims 4. Today's video is something I'm really excited to share with you guys. Now, it's actually a build I built like a couple of weeks ago by the time that this is going up, and pretty close to a couple of weeks ago by the time I'm recording this voiceover. So forgive me if I am not really attuned to all of the intricacies, the details of what's exactly going on in the video. Some of the details might be a little fuzzy, but super excited, like I said, to share this with you guys because we are building a home that is inspired by and fit for Generation 1 of the Not So Berry Challenge, so the Mint generation. I think I'm going to end up calling this like Modern Mint or something like that, something nice and generic so that you guys could kind of halfway possibly know what's going on in the build itself and, like I said, what it's inspired by. But what kind of got me wanting to build this home is not the fact that I'm doing the Not So Berry Challenge in The Sims 4, like that's not happening, but I am doing it in The Sims 3 if you'd like to see a little bit of that fun gameplay. I'm having a really good time with that. I've mentioned this before, but the main reason I'm not doing it in The Sims 4 is that on my own personal time, I've done it twice through already, and that's just a lot of playing of the same challenge. But I still love the challenge like a whole bunch, and I wanted to build something that would be appropriate for your founder, so the Mint generation, like I mentioned before. So I remember when I was playing the challenge, I was like frantically searching the gallery at certain points through the challenge as a whole, looking for homes that would work for my heirs and their families too. And to be honest with you, there just isn't a ton of availability. Now, a lot of people have done homes fit for Gen 1 or the Mint generation because like that's the first one. A lot of people have begun the challenge. I know a few people who have finished it, but a lot of people have begun the challenge. So I feel like a lot more people, as a result, have built homes or apartments or something appropriate for the first generation, but not as much for the following generations. So I'm not exactly telling you that this is going to be like a series on my channel, but I am going to tell you that possibly every once in a while from here going forward, like I don't know, I'm not even going to promise any like time range, but every once in a while I'm probably going to drop a build that is inspired by a certain generation of Not So Berry because, again, having played it through twice myself, I feel like I have an okay idea of what sort of items and as far as skill building items or career items might be needed for the the generations as a whole, and what's good to have and what might not be good to have and things like that. And it's also kind of fun to see a home that's specifically tailored to your Sims needs when it comes to a challenge or something like that. So yeah, that's like a really long drawn out explanation of what we're doing today, but essentially this is a home inspired, like I said, by the first generation or the Mint generation of Not So Berry, and you will find in this home like everything you need to begin and actually to play through the entire challenge. Now, I actually didn't just leave this as a Mint home. There actually is a bedroom in this home for your Red generation. So that's why I say that, like, as long as you only have one child, you could potentially stay in this home the duration of your Sim's lifetime. But let's be honest, who actually does that? Like, I actually don't know of a lot of players who, start playing a generation and then leave their generation in one house for that entire generation. If you're anything like me as far as a player goes, I like to move my Sims around like a decent bit, especially when I feel like I'm starting to get a little bored of the gameplay for whatever reason. I'm like, yes, okay, time for a new house, and here we go. So there are a lot of really cool items in this house that I think fit well with the Mint generation. But then again, I try not to make it like a Mint explosion because you're already going to be getting a lot of color, a lot of Mint color because of, whatever outfit choices and things like that you pick for your Sim, the hair color, all that fun stuff. And, let's be honest, that is what makes Not So Berry a lot of fun, the colors that you get to play with when you do it. But like I said, at the same time, I didn't want the house to just be like Mint overload because, you stare at one color for an entire generation and it kind of sort of starts to get old, like not totally, but a little bit. And those of you who have played the Not So Berry Challenge or even like a couple of generations of the Not So Berry Challenge will probably know what I'm talking about. It's like, yeah, I think I need a little bit of a break from that color right now. So I tried to kind of keep that in mind when I was building this house. So You will definitely find a lot of mint in the home, but once again, not mint overload. So for some reason, I always imagine the Mint Generation Sim living in Oasis Springs. I don't know if it's because she's supposed to be a scientist or what. I don't exactly know, to be honest with you, but I have almost always, I think, started off my Mint Sim in Oasis Springs. And so to top all that, I've actually not done a build on the channel, I think, so far that was built in Oasis Springs. So I thought this was kind of like a fun, you know, thrown together mix of all of those things. Get to build for Mint of Not So Berry, and then also get to build in Oasis Springs. Now, I did pick one of the prettier lots in Oasis Springs. This is one that has the grass covering the ground already and has a lot of pretty landscaping surrounding it. So you don't really get a ton of desert, but yeah, I think it's really cute just all around. So I am going to be talking about the build possibly like as we go through and as I see things that I'd like to point out to you guys. Right now we're just doing like crazy things like the floor plan, which I think I left in most of that. Guys, I could totally be wrong. You know, again, I built this and edited it like way over a week ago at this point. So if I just jumbled through all that and didn't include the floor plan and then said I did, I'm sorry. I feel like I included the floor plan, but of course I wasn't watching while I was just yapping away a second ago. But yeah, I did a couple of things new in this build, like including the floor plan, I think. We'll see. But in addition to talking about the build today, I also have a couple other things I want to talk to you guys about, because if you have, you know, been anywhere, you know, touching the internet at all in the Sims community, you will know that last week at this point, Sims 4 Seasons was announced, and oh my gosh, guys, yes, Seasons is coming. We have waited so long and asked, and it's finally here. And gosh, I honestly don't know of a single person who's not excited about this. And I'm sorry if I'm like the 112th person that has spoken about Seasons, and you're, I don't know, maybe at this point you guys are like, let's, you know, great, it's exciting, it's gonna be great when it comes out, but, you know, quit talking about it. Because to be honest with you, I'm recording this just a couple of days after the trailer dropped, so for me, it's still fairly new, but you're seeing this like several days after the trailer dropped, probably. And what I thought was funny is that the day the trailer dropped, so also did like a bajillion trailer reactions. And so I was actually at work when the trailer came through, and then like, not too long after that at all, like my entire feed on YouTube was full of trailer reactions for the Seasons trailer. So I have seen the trailer like, I don't even know how many times. And to be honest with you guys, every time I watch it, I still just like get all excited and kind of giddy and get a little like goosebumpy. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm having such an emotional reaction to this trailer. It's not even funny. Okay, so this is kind of a fun thing. We'll talk about this, guys, and then I want to hear some feedback from you. But when it dropped, when the trailer dropped, I think that it came out, hold on just a second, let me calculate this. I believe it was around 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, because for me, it was noon, and I'm in Central Time. So I think that that's correct. I think that's about when it came out. So I was just about to take my lunch break. I was actually sitting downstairs in like an office area, kind of catching up on some documentation. And there is a student that's shadowing me for the summer. And I was working with her all day, and the trailer dropped. I'm in the middle of trying to do some documentation for my job, and I like spazzed out because, all morning, we had known the day before that something was coming. Everyone was pretty sure it was Seasons, but we didn't really want to get our hopes up just in case, so the trailer dropped, and I like went berserk. Like I'm pretty sure the student thought I was crazy. Like she probably thought I was insane. And so I watched the trailer like kind of quietly over in my corner, right? And then, in my like half crying state, looked over at her and asked her if she knew what The Sims was. And she said, yeah, I play The Sims. So guys, this student that I've spoken to several times over the past few weeks at this point, who I didn't know played The Sims. Actually, I don't know anyone in real life who plays The Sims. Like, no one in my family plays The Sims. I don't have any friends who play The Sims in real life. All of my friends who play The Sims are internet friends. And that's awesome, but it's also kind of fun to talk to someone in person who kind of halfway knows what you're talking about and doesn't think you're crazy every time you talk about how much you love The Sims. And so this student that's been working with me for several weeks was like, yeah, I play The Sims. And so we just totally like had a little like bonding moment over, our mutual love of The Sims, and then I like rolled my chair over to her and we both watched the trailer again together, and oh my gosh, it was awesome. So had a cool little moment there with someone who I didn't know played The Sims, but who I now know shares that love. And it's just kind of cool, you know, to like I said, to find someone in real life who shares that desire to like enjoy the game and all this fun stuff that we get to do as simmers. So what I want to know from you guys though is, what were you doing the first time that you saw the Sims 4 Seasons trailer? And I'm sorry if a couple of you guys are like, Mariah, stop making such a big deal out of it. You know, we've heard about this already, but if you're game to play, you know, why don't you just let me know in the comments, what were you doing? How did you react? I assume that the reaction was excitement, but you know, I mean, I understand that. Well, no, I actually don't understand if your reaction wasn't excitement because I'm just like, oh man, this is just great, guys. This is so great. And yeah, so that's what I'd like to know from you guys. If you would like to let me know in the comments what you were doing when the Sims 4 Seasons trailer dropped, I would love to read those, and I'm sure that a couple other people might enjoy to see that as well. So it's just kind of a fun thing that we can use to interact with each other. So. And you'll have to let me know too, do you plan on getting it when it first comes out? Right now, as far as I know, the release date is June the 22nd for most of the world. I think for places like Australia and possibly other places in the Southern Hemisphere, who for me, like they always seem like they're several hours ahead, like they're almost always in the next day. I think it's June 23rd for a lot of those countries. But for us guys here in the US, if you're in the US, June 22nd for sure. So super excited about that. What I'm even more excited about though is that my birthday is coming up in a few weeks. I am a June baby. And so it's on my birthday list already. Actually, after I watched the trailer, you know, like cried for a second, showed it to the student, we kind of, you know, had that little bonding experience. I text my in-laws and a couple of my siblings and was like, hey, I just officially count, you know, the Sims 4 Seasons expansion pack as being on my birthday list, because obviously you can pre-order it. And so super excited about that. And so honestly though, like even if I don't get it for my birthday, which, you know, my family always kind of acts like I'm difficult to shop for, which I don't know why, because like I'm not a very high maintenance person. I'm a woman of simple needs. You know, I don't really need a lot of things. Maybe that's why they think it's difficult to shop for me. Anyways, even if I don't get it for my birthday, regardless, I'm definitely going to be purchasing it and hopefully be able to download it the day it releases. Which hold on just a second. Let me actually find out. What day of the week is the 22nd of June? I thought I looked at that earlier. Hold on. All right, it is a Friday actually. Okay, cool. So that's fun because we get the whole weekend to play, which I'm super excited about. At least I hope so. I don't think I have anything going on that weekend, and if I do, it's canceled. Whatever the plans are, they're canceled. I know that June, at least, oh gosh, it seems like June is always like wedding season, something crazy, but I don't think we have any weddings or anything to go to that day, thank goodness, because I'm gonna be holed up in my house playing The Sims. So I'm sure I'm not gonna be alone there. So yeah, let me know guys, like I said earlier, what you were doing when you found out about Seasons, and then also if you plan to get it right away, or if you're going to hold off for a while, if you're just going to kind of, you know, sit back, watch some others gameplay, try to decide if you want it from there. Because honestly, you know, $40, which is, you know, obviously the US price that I'm familiar with for an expansion pack, is a lot of money. I mean, I'm not gonna diss that. Like, that is for sure. It is a reasonable chunk of money for digital content that goes into a game, you know, takes up space on your computer. But we're simmers, so we love that sort of thing. Like, that's right up our alley kind of a thing. So you'll have to let me know what you think about that. So back just ever so quickly to the build, because, you know, I've actually never had any complaints about, you know, watch me get some complaints now, but I've never had any complaints about the amount of time I spend either talking about the non-build things or talking about the build specifically. I really have ever had any feedback on that one way or the other. So I assume for the most part that either you guys are like really easy to please, or you don't mind that I kind of switch back and forth sometimes in talking about the build and talking about other things. But yeah, I do like to at least talk about the build every once in a while, because I do like to explain kind of right off the bat what inspired me to build it, you know, kind of what my thought was behind it, which didn't take very long because it's just Not So Berry. Like, that's all I probably needed to have said was, oh, hey, Not So Berry, mint, and you guys have been like, yes, okay, Not So Berry, that's what we're doing here today. But I do like to kind of tell you what was going into all of my thought processes. My favorite room in this house is the office area. because I pulled out all of the cool, well, not all, a lot of the cool like equipment and things that you get to use as a part of the scientist career, and I popped them in that office. That way your Mint Generation sim can have a personal office with like a cool science, I forget, I think it's like the chemical analyzer or something like that. Anyways, you have like a piece of equipment, you have a nice desk area, lots of cool like science-y or alien wall decorations. I think I put a chess table in there with like with one seat because it's kind of pushed up against the wall. So your sim can still use it personally, you just can't play with another sim because obviously logic skill is a really big one to have. To be honest with you, the one major skill item that I don't feel like was covered like ridiculously well in this house was mischief, but you can build mischief by like trolling the forums on the computer and things like that. I think you can also like spy on the neighborhood through the telescope back there in the back, or the observatory, which of course can also build your logic skill if you're like stargazing or something like that. So I tried to kind of keep all of those aspects of the Mint Generation in mind when I was, you know, building this and putting it together, because once again, I wanted it to be suitable if you decided to move into this place and then you just never wanted to leave. If you were just like totally fine with, you know, if you were like, no, I would stay here forever, this is my Sim's dream home, I wanted you to be like all set and ready to go. So as far as like packs and things go, this is not a limited packs or restricted packs build. We do those just about every Thursday here on the channel though, so if you'd like to, you can go check out that playlist because we do a lot of those really cool things, and I've really been having a good time putting those together. But I have no idea what packs I used in this build. I have no clue. But what made me think of that though was like that toddler overhang hammock thing, and like this little grill that I'm about to put in here, the little mint grill, which I think is super adorable, by the way. It's very cute. So there's just this massive like mixture of packs. I would say that if you had to pick like a certain few packs that would get you this house and most of its contents, I would say spa day for sure, because a lot of like nice mint spa day items, you know, are those that I included in this as well. Yeah, no, I'm not even gonna do that because there are just so many major items that I know I put in this build that were just, yeah, no. So lots of packs in this build. I'm sorry if it's kind of ridiculous as far as the amount of packs. If you want me to restrict myself on packs for one of the possible future not so berry builds that I might be doing, again, not promising that it's going to be any kind of like a regular series or anything like that, but if you have an idea as to like packs to restrict myself, then let me know, and I'm always open to those types of suggestions. I feel the need once again to apologize for the noise on the road outside my house. Guys, I feel like I mentioned this in like, yeah, oh gosh, so loud, it's just rude. Don't they know I'm recording? No, I don't know. It's like late in the day right now when I'm recording this. It's way after the time that people should like technically be going home and things like that. So I'm not sure what these people are doing. The funny thing is that the vast majority of the time, the reason for the noise outside my house is, of course, the traffic, like the actual vehicles themselves going by, but also there's like this massive pothole, like right in the road in front of my house. I'm not even kidding. It's like right there. I can see it right now. And so when vehicles, especially large trucks and things like that, pass over it, they make this like awful, like jangling type noise, and it's just obvious that there's traffic going by at that point. So that's usually the major culprit when it comes to the noise outside my house, which I feel like I've mentioned like way too often in my builds, which is, it's just kind of ridiculous. But anyways, we have moved on to the outside of the house, and actually, boom, just hit the screenshots. Oh, the noise. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. I can't pick a good time of day to record, guys. I just can't. Anyways, so yeah, on to the screenshots. I really hope you enjoyed the build and my rambling and my gushing about seasons, because it's going to come, guys. It's going to be here soon. Oh, I'm so excited. All right, well, like I said, hope you enjoyed the build. Thank you ever so much for watching. I'll leave you out for the screenshots here. They're really cool. Lots of mint, lots of mint going on all over the place, but also a little bit of red because, like I said, there is a toddler bedroom upstairs for your red generation whenever they get here. So yeah, guys, thanks again for watching. I hope you're having the best of days, and I will see you very soon. Bye. I'm so happy.